Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Domaine Thierry Mortet. Stephen and Dennis here, Eldon Selections, burgundywine.com, and we're here to talk about pigeon pie.
Yes, pigeon pie. No, it's not pigeon pie. I keep saying pigeon pie, and Dennis informs me it's squab. Squab pigeon or squab?
No, don't say pigeon.
Squab. It's squab. So it's hunting season here in Burgundy, and a friend of ours came in with some squab. So we decided that we would make it. We make our own suet pastry, which is quite interesting. Again, the video is on our YouTube channel, so check that out. And we made a kind of a traditional winter root vegetable squab pie.
When you say pie, I mean
it was decent.
It's more like a tort.
Yeah.
Traditionally in French, it's a torte is like a tall pie.
Yeah. And we took the breasts off the squab and just pan fried them, because that way you just cook everything correctly for the flavor and the juice and the texture. So it came out quite nice. But we went down to the cellar, and it's more like what wine will suit this food. And we went to the Côte de Nuit, Thierry Mortet, and he produces both Gevrey Chambertin, Chambertin and Chambertin Premier Cru, and great regional wines. Great regional wines. It's a winemaker I love. Really shows the strength of Eldon wine, where you can just do that tasting through the
Stephen's
love that.
Here at the Domaine Thierry Mortet, we'll start out exactly right here at the bar with the guests before dinner. Do an aperitif of the simpler wine. Go to the table with the more complex wines, and just sort of follow it through as a commentary as the evening goes on.
Yeah.
And
this domain, it was all the way back to '82, I think, when Denny and Thierry, they split the domain, and I think Thierry started off with four hectares. It's now up to 8.5 hectares. And very impressive, and a very impressive way of farming and ideology.
And that was almost exactly the time when I met him. It was the very first year that they did the Grand Jour de Bourgogne. What year was that?
82, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back that far.
It's a while ago.
And I walked up, and I didn't know Thierry Mortet from anyone, and asked him what his he was doing a themed tasting on the two different parts of Gevrey Chambertin, to the two main different terroirs of Gevrey Chambertin, because you've got this river valley, a combe running up through the middle of Gevrey Chambertin, and the wines on either side are distinctly different. And he was essentially trying to show people that. He was doing a little didactic tasting, and it was fantastic. I remember to this day that was one of those sort of early masterclass distinctions that you get. So we hit it off very well. He wasn't at that time making organic wine, but he had it in his head that he was going to do that, and he's always had it in his mind that he was going to go for the
full certification.
For the certification, and that's always we work with quite a few wine makers who are either organic or biodynamic in their methods, but not all of them, and as a matter of fact, fewer than you would expect want to have that little label on that little macaron on the label, because it kind of in the years where you have problems and you have to save the farm. You're stuck. It happened to Thierry a few years back. I mean, he for all of his efforts to get into the organic farming, he had a year where there was nothing. If he didn't do a certain treatment that was not allowed by the organic statutes, he would have lost his crop. So he did it, and I mean, that's not funny, but he was in tears when he told me about it. It was a glitch in his time frame, but at the same time, I mean, it just goes to show you the seriousness of these guys.
But the philosophy never changes, and that's the thing. Even the circumstances may have to be adjusted, but the philosophy and the philosophy doesn't change. And I think that comes back to us being on the ground here and seeing throughout the year what our producers are doing in the vineyards. It gives us an extra confidence and an extra base of knowledge that's based in truth of what our producers do.
Yeah.
That's not always the same for everyone that's bringing in wine. They may have a visit to Burgundy once every year or two to check up on someone, but like we feel like we understand our producers. And when you went through the list and the farming techniques of our list, it was we were saying at some stage we could nearly call it an organic wine list, which was interesting. Yeah.
But then it's going more and more that way. I mean, when we first arrived here, anybody who was biodynamic was a wacko out in the spraying his silicates out in the wild. Spraying his wild silicates.
Well, now,
but it's not that
now
way
they're
anymore.
looked up to. Now they're legends.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. I mean, all of these, and especially some of the producers that we've been dealing with. We're in the third generation now, where the parents are supporting the new generation in their efforts to go organic.
But bringing it back to the wine, he fully destems, and it's just to bring out the fruit, the expression of the terroir, and the low sulfur, which is a distinct note. You get that quality from his wines. They open up lovely. They need a little bit of time sometimes to open up, but when they do, the wines shine through brilliantly.
Yeah, you don't bottle it with a lot of oxygen. You bottle it in a reductive state.
Yeah, for a reason, on purpose. Yeah. It's interesting. The regional wines, I really think he nails the regional wine beautifully. But
isn't that beautiful? That's is that 13?
14. This is 14. Yeah. It was a great year. And the Gevrey.
Not really a great year.
Well, I like the 14s. I think they're drinking really well from the cellar now.
That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, so often what you read in the press is not what turns out 6 years after the fact. It's like, I mean, the number of times that you get these vintages that are not really the shoo of the press as they come out, that turn out to be the most typical in the best sense of the word, Burgundies.
Yeah, his Gevrey is very interesting because, as you spoke of at the beginning, this kind of, as we say so many times, we do a great left bank, right bank tasting with Dovisat in Chablis, and because all these villages have a river running through them and the different aspects, but it's 20 different plots for the village Gevrey wine. So it's a really good expression generally of what Gevrey Chambertin can offer, and so worked perfectly with the squab.
Oh yeah,
and it was a great
pigeon
pie. So anyway, I think that's us for today.
Yeah.
Check us out again very soon. We're going to have another one of these coming to you with another recipe.
All of these videos turn up on our YouTube channel, so you should subscribe to that.
Yeah,
Facebook,
with tasting
Instagram,
videos.
With tasting videos, and Facebook and Instagram, and www.burgundywine.com.
Very good, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Can't do better than
Maybe
that if you like Burgundy.
We might see you one day here in the beautiful Domaine de Cromay.